Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1822B, and today's date is March 22nd, 2019, and the title of the episode is Panic in D.C., Deep State Agenda Forced Out into the Light. Now, before I get started, I wanted to talk about the deep state. We know they continually push their goals, and we know that they try every trick in the book to scare the American people. And one of the best things you can invest in for your home and for your protection is a Patriot flashlight. Now, this flashlight is solar powered, so you're never going to waste money on batteries again. It has emergency strobe light, it has a USB port, it has a compass, rope, wire cutter, and a siren to ward off individuals. Patriot flashlight is the perfect gift for you and your family. Go to patriotflashlight.com. Use the promo code X20 and get 20% off the Patriot flashlight. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, the deep state, they are panicking, and they're panicking in D.C. And you can see that what Trump, what the Patriots have been doing, they've been exposing the deep state to the American people. And I do believe this is why Q is continually saying dark to light, because what Trump, what the Patriots are doing, they are taking the deep state, which hid in the dark, which they used as cover. They are now continually forcing them out into the light so everybody can see their agenda. Now, we've talked about their agenda for a very long time. Most likely you've done research on their agenda, and we know what their agenda is. But to the everyday person who's listening and watching, they don't see the real agenda. They hear the talk, they hear the words, they hear what they're saying, but they wrap it up in such a way that you don't see their real agenda. I'll give you an example. If there's a shooting, they want to keep everyone safe. So they go on the bandwagon of saying, we're doing this to keep you safe. We're keeping you safe from those people who have assault weapons, those people who use these weapons on you. That's what we're doing. But behind the scenes, in the dark, what's their real agenda? To strip all weapons away from the people in every single country. That's their real agenda. We'll be talking about that in just a moment. Now, very interestingly, and this is coming out of the Gateway Pundit, we know that Strzok and Page's phone, they were wiped, and we know that they had a personal phone. And we know that Mueller's special counsel gang, they scrubbed Strzok's phone and then turned it over to the Office of Inspector General Investigator after Peter Strzok was fired from the special counsel. Peter Strzok was fired from the special counsel after text messages surfaced showing that he had a strong hatred for Donald Trump and his supporters. His lover, Lisa Page, reportedly resigned from the special counsel in May 2017, 2 weeks before Strzok was fired. Lisa Page's phone was scrubbed and not turned over to OIG until September 2018. Now, Strzok's anti-Trump lover, Lisa Page's phone was also scrubbed clean. And of course, Page's phone went missing for a year before it was found and turned over to investigators in September 2018, scrubbed clean. Newly uncovered information now shows that the reason the texts on Strzok's phone were erased is not because he was fired. Strzok's texts were erased before he was fired. How do we know this? Well, it's in the OIG report on page 38 that stated that Strzok was removed from the Mueller team on August 27, 2017. However, the mainstream media said that Strzok was removed from the Mueller team sometime before August 16, 2017. It's likely that Strzok's phone was cleaned of all text messages before August 27th and therefore before he was fired. It's now clear that the FBI, Department of Justice, and Mueller's gang clearly wanted what was on the phones erased so no one could see what was on them. There's no way that the obstruction of justice and deleting text messages could have been an honest mistake after Strzok worked for Mueller. The texts were deleted before he left the Mueller team. Let's go back to what Trump said back in December of 2018. The Mueller angry Democrats recently deleted approximately 19,000 text messages between FBI agent Lisa Page and her lover, Agent Peter Strzok. These texts were asked for and invaluable to the truth of the witch hunt hoax. This is total obstruction of justice. All texts demanded. Now, do you really think they're deleted? Nothing is ever deleted. You can always find it. And remember, the NSA, well, they were collecting all this information. And we know from Q that the CIA uses a program called Angel Fire. And we know that Q team, the Patriots, well, they've been using it to figure out what the CIA is doing. And we know this is a malware that collects a lot of information. So most likely, they have all this information. Judicial Watch announced that it discovered at least 5 more classified emails on Hillary Clinton's private server. So Judicial Watch, they announced that they received 756 pages of emails that were among Hillary Clinton's non-state gov materials she tried to delete or BleachBit. Several of the emails discovered in this new tranche of documents contain classified information. Hillary Clinton repeatedly stated that 55,000 pages she turned over to investigators contained all of her work-related emails, and that the 33,000 emails she destroyed and deleted were all personal emails that mainly contained Chelsea's wedding plans and yoga. Well, this turns out to be completely fake, phony, and false. In 2017, the FBI discovered 72,000 pages of documents that Hillary tried to delete or destroy, and the State Department has been slow-walking the release of those documents. And Judicial Watch has them now. I mean, this is looking worse and worse for Hillary Clinton every single day. We have the Ukrainian investigation. We have Judicial Watch looking into the email, gathering all this information. Paul Sperry tweeted out the following. Breaking. 4 days after the New York Times broke the story of Hillary using private, unauthorized server, McCabe privately met with her former campaign co-chair. Then, 20 days after, ICIG forced FBI to open investigation of Hillary. McCabe suddenly promoted to headquarters and controls the special case. How convenient. And we know that very soon, all of this is going to start to come out into the open. Why? Because the Mueller report is going to be released very, very soon. I mean, Trump is dropping carpet bombs left and right. He's letting everyone know, I don't care if everyone sees it. I hope everyone sees it. Even the mainstream media, they've been playing it down. They're saying that it's not going to be that great. It's not going to be what everyone thinks. How would they know this? It's classified. You think they've been fed this information? You think they already know? They're already prepared? They're in on it? Yes, they're tipped off so they can change the direction of the discussion. Jonathan Karl tweeted out the following. You don't need to speculate about what's in the Mueller report. Rod Rosenstein has already given us a roadmap. Bottom line, do not expect harsh condemnation of President Trump or any of his associates who have not been charged with crimes. The bottom line, guess what? There's going to be absolutely no new indictments. In a letter, Rosenstein makes it clear he believes the Department of Justice will not and cannot, without violating long-standing Department of Justice policies, include disparaging or incriminating information that anybody who has not been charged with a crime. Pushing wrongdoers through judicial proceedings is only one part of the department's mission. We also have a duty to prevent the disclosure of information that would unfairly tarnish people who are not charged with crimes. There's going to be no new indictments. No one's going to be looking at these people because they have not been charged with any crimes. None of this is going to happen. I believe this is why Barr has kept Rosenstein on board here to push all this information out there, and it's coming from Rod Rosenstein, not from Barr. So think about this. Think of the optics. So we see right now everything the mainstream media has been talking about, everything that Brennan is talking about, everything that Adam Schiff is talking about, all turning out to be fake, phony, and false. Paul Sperry tweeted out the following. Attorney General Barr, under current rules, The Mueller report is supposed to be confidential, and the Attorney General will report to Congress about the conclusion of the investigation. There may be discretion there about what the Attorney General can put in the report to Congress. Trump is saying that, listen, the Mueller report that's expected is going to show no Russian collusion. He went on to say that a deputy that didn't get any votes appoints a man that didn't get any votes. He's going to write a report on me. So who's he talking about? He's talking about Rod Rosenstein, and he's talking about Mueller. So right now, there's going to be nothing that comes from this report. He said, for 2 years, we've gone through this nonsense. There's no collusion with Russia. There's no obstruction. They'll say, oh, well, wait, there was no collusion. That was a hoax. But he obstructed in fighting against the hoax. He said, let it come out. Let people see it. We'll see what happens. Let's see whether or not it's legit. Because he knows what comes after this. He knows the gates are open. Because the insurance policy, the firewall that they set up, is completely gone. This is why these individuals are panicking. Who are these individuals? You know them. Adam Schiff, John Brennan, Clapper, Clinton, and the rest. John Brennan is panicking. He knows the Mueller report is going to be a nothing burger. There is nothing there, and there will be no new indictments. Think mirror. This is what he tweeted out. Your bizarre tweets and recent temper tantrums reveal your panic over the likelihood the special counsel will soon further complicate your life, putting your political and financial future in jeopardy. Fortunately, Lady Justice does not do NDAs. So, did he just threaten Trump, saying Mueller is going to ruin his financial and political future? It kind of sounds that way. And remember what Q says, those people that scream the loudest have the most to lose. He is panicking right now, and that's why he is threatening. We see that Trump has signed the executive order defending free speech on college campuses. He tweeted out the following: we are here today to take historic action to defend American students and American values. In a few moments, I will be signing the executive order to protect free speech on college campuses. So Trump is signing the executive order to preserve free speech. And basically what he's saying is that the government spends billions of dollars to fund universities. And he decided that it's time to crack the whip on the status quo. Now, really think about this. We know that many of the universities, they're controlled by the deep state. They're pushing their agenda. They're teaching the children in a certain way. This is starting all the way going back to elementary school. This is why they implemented Common Core. And basically what Trump is doing is he's stopping this. Now, should we have to stop this? No, because we all should have the right to speak freely. Actually, there was a time. That's what college was all about, where you can express and talk freely and have a debate on campus. Today, you can't even do that. Actually, if you remember, and we talked about this many, many times before, they were setting up free speech zones in campuses saying, see this box right here? That's where you can speak freely. Everywhere else, you cannot. So right there and then, we can see what is happening. Now, very interestingly, Trump has come out and he tweeted out about North Korea. Now, like I said, everything that we're seeing is a show. Everything that Trump is doing, it's to bring the deep state into a certain position, bring the neocons, bring the mainstream media in a different direction than what he's working on. With North Korea, he announced today that the U.S. Treasury, that additional large-scale sanctions would be added to those already existing sanctions on North Korea. He said, I have today ordered the withdrawal of those additional sanctions. We see out in Venezuela, Bolton, once again, he is out there saying that we are ready to go into Venezuela at any time. We have the right to protect 50,000 Americans in Venezuela, and if we have to, we will go in there. Now, once again, Bolton is out there flapping his gums just like he did in Syria. We're never leaving until Iran leaves. Well, that was completely fake, phony, and false. And we can see at this point that this whole thing is a gigantic show to keep the deep state, the neocons, very, very busy while the patriots work on a peace plan. You see this happening in Syria. You see it happening in Afghanistan. You see it happening in North Korea. You see it happening everywhere. If you really look at what Maduro's doing in Venezuela, he is stopping everything that they're trying to do, and they're being exposed on how they're trying to do it. I'm talking about the opposition. Think about the aid truck. They're saying that Maduro set it on fire. Then it came out that no, it was the opposition. And this is the whole point of all this, is to expose the deep state, the neocons, for what they are. Now, we need to understand that New Zealand, and Q has told us this, that this was not an event big enough to keep the news cycles busy for what is coming. And they're going to try many, many other type of false flag events. But the one thing that they did do was they created an event where they can push gun control very, very quickly, because this is what they want in the United States. They also are using it for censorship. Now, what's very interesting, and this is how Q, Trump, and the Patriots are exposing these individuals. They're saying, why do they let this happen? Why do they go ahead and do this? Because they want everyone to see what they're really all about. Think about Planned Parenthood. Think about abortion. Think about what has been exposed to the American people. Think about the wall. Hillary Clinton was out there, and she is praising Jacinda Ardern's leadership on taking away all the weapons in New Zealand. And I'm talking about the semi-automatic and the high-capacity magazines. Clinton tweeted out the following: under at Jacinda Ardern's leadership, New Zealand has banned assault rifles and military-style semi-automatic weapons just 6 days after the Christchurch mosque attacks. Public servants didn't stop at offering thoughts and prayers. They chose to act. So they are waging war right now on the Second Amendment. That's basically what they're doing. You say, no, that's not what they're doing. They want to keep people safe. Well, look at Bernie Sanders. He's calling for a ban on the sale and distribution of all assault weapons. Look at Dianne Feinstein. She has bills ready to go. Look what MSNBC and CNN are doing. You know what they're doing? They're saying that, wow, the U.S. is failing to get fast gun control like New Zealand. CNN says U.S. lacks New Zealand's urgency in banning guns. Think about that for a second. The U.S. is lacking urgency. You mean an event? Something where they can push this? And what I'm a little worried about is that they have set this up so they can push a very big event here in the United States. Because we know the House, they just pushed a bill. Feinstein has a bill. We just had New Zealand, and they're praising them on how fast they acted to ban these weapons. Basically, what they're doing right now is they're pushing their agenda. They're exposed to the public. And this is how Q, the Patriots, Trump, this is how they get the deep state to go from the darkness behind everything to the light. And now they're being exposed all the way around. And people are starting to question this. People are saying, well, wait a minute. They don't want to keep illegals out of here? They rather have them come into this country? They don't want to vet them? They don't care about the American public safety? They want to ban all weapons, and they don't care about the Second Amendment? They don't care about the rights of the people. Think about it. If those individuals had a weapon inside the mosque, guess what? You think that shooter would still be living? Absolutely not. He'd be downed in a second. It's funny how they don't ban cars when someone takes a car and rams it into 12, 13, 14 people. Cars are okay. It was the person. Inanimate objects don't do anything. It is the person. And yes, I know this is a false flag. I know that this was completely staged. But put that aside. Their agenda is censorship. Their agenda is to get what New Zealand just did and have it done here in the United States. And Q has warned us that there are going to be other events. United States, France, Italy, UK. And as Q always says, be vigilant. The time of the deep state, the time that they have is running out. And the window for them to keep, where they're trying to keep control, is closing in on them. They're panicking. They know what's coming. And guess what? Nothing can stop it. No matter what they do, all they're doing is exposing themselves each and every single time. And every time they try again, it exposes more of what they're up to. Think about it. Why have the people sided with Trump with the economy? Why have people sided with Trump that Mueller's investigation is now a witch hunt? Because once you have the people and you start gaining their trust, and people are looking at this saying, you know something, he's been right. Why isn't he right about the other things? And soon, people are going to start to do more research, and they're going to look at the other people and say, wait a minute, something's wrong here. I don't agree with this. Because they're making them do more than they've ever done before. This is how desperate they're getting. And when they do this, they come out of the darkness and they bring it out into the light. To think about Epstein and the island. Think about the sealed court case. If that ever comes out to light and all these people are exposed, I believe this will bring unity to the country. Exposing the deep state will bring unity to the country. And that's the entire plan. That's the entire plan. Because then you can move forward. Then you can arrest those who are treasonous. It's that much easier. They're not waiting to get more information. They have it. They're waiting for the American people to wake up and be on the side of truth, not propaganda. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.